Hello, students. We are going to start our third chapter of civics, that is the judiciary. Maybe you already know that government of India works through the three organs. The first is the union legislature, second is the union executive, and the third is the judiciary system. When I say government of India, please don't associate it with any political party. Political parties come and go, but government of India is always there. So let's read about the judiciary system. While the legislature makes laws and the executive carries them out, it is the job of the judiciary to interpret or explain the meaning of these laws and to give punishment to the lawbreakers. The Constitution of India also provides for an independent and a uniform and integrated judicial setup in India. So what does it mean? That it means that legislature makes laws and executive carry them out, right? Suppose someone don't follow the rules or break the laws, then who will look after the matter? It is the judiciary. So judicial system will punish the lawbreakers. Now, this punishment will not be based on the will and wish of any other person, although judge is there to give his or her judgment, but judgment of a judge is also based upon the laws written in the constitution. Now, who will tell us that what is written in the constitution? It is the job of judiciary. In this sense, judiciary is a interpreter, or it explains the meaning of laws. uh, we say that we have rule of law. Then what does it mean? It means that constitution of India, all the rules that are written in the constitution are supreme to any the rules are same for everyone. The constitution of India also provides for an independent and a uniform and integrated judicial setup in India. Constitution provides, that means it is written in the Constitution of India that judicial system is independent. That means it is without the interruptions made by the legislature and executive. That means legislature and executive cannot interfere in the judicial process. And a uniform, it is same everywhere, and it is integrated judicial setup. All the systems under the judicial system works together. The judicial system of India is like a pyramid. At the apex of the pyramid, there is a Supreme Court of India. That means at the top of the pyramid is a Supreme Court. And we know that high courts are there for states, but it doesn't mean that each state is having its own high court. Some states share the high courts as well, like ours in Punjab and Haryana. Punjab and Haryana High Court is situated in Chandigarh, right? Then district courts, or we can say subordinate courts, are there. That means court in the districts or in tehsils are subordinate courts. So any case that comes to any court can be categorized under one of the two categories, and they are criminal cases or civil cases. Now what is the difference between them is, these cases, criminal cases concern thefts, robberies, killing, physical injury, writing, etc. That means if someone committed a crime, a criminal case will be filed against that person. Civil cases pertain to means they are related to family matters. Suppose two persons are having dispute over a certain matter. That means they are not agree to each other. If you are disagree with some other person, that doesn't make you a criminal. But if dispute is there, that should be resolved, and it is resolved by the law. uh, that means they are dispute is resolved by a judicial system on the basis of laws written in the constitution. So what kind of matters are categorized under civil cases. They are property disputes, marriage disputes, contracts, damage of goods, etc. Supreme Court, the Supreme Court. Okay, the Supreme Court stands at the top of judicial setup of the country, and what is the composition of it? Okay, so parts of you can say um, what it consists of. It consists of Chief Justice and not more than 30 other judges. Not more than 30 other judges. The number of judges in Supreme Court is fixed by the Parliament from time to time. Please keep in mind that right now there are 30 judges and one Chief Justice in India, but this number can be changed. But Chief Justice will always be one. Chief Justice is for a single person. This post is for one person only, but number of judges in Supreme Court can be increased by the Parliament. Composition of Supreme Court. The Chief Justice is appointed by the President of India. Other judges are also appointed by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice of Supreme Court. Then appointment of Chief Justice is done by President. Also President appoint the other judges, but that appointments are in consultation with the Chief Justice. And retirement age of Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court is 65 years. The judges of the Supreme Court can be removed by President only on the grounds of proved misbehavior and incapacity. Incapacity means legal disqualification. And upon an address to that effect being passed by a special majority of each House of Parliament. That process is called impeachment. Suppose there is a judge in Supreme Court who breaks a law or who don't respect the constitution, then he can be removed by the president. But that removal is not like a president will give just an order of suspension or dismiss the judge. The president has to follow the procedure, and that procedure is the impeachment. How it starts, and you can you can say an application is given to the president by majority of the members of both houses of parliament, right? Then that application should be based on proved misbehavior or incapacity. Then a judge can be removed, and this process is known as the impeachment. Qualification of the judge. To become a judge in Supreme Court, what are the requirements? First is he must be Indian citizen. Second is a person should be either he should be a distinguished jurist. Either person is distinguished jurist, that means during his career as a judge, he if he has done done a phenomenal job, then person can be appointed as judge in Supreme Court. Or if distinguished jurist, if he is not distinguished jurist, then he can be High Court judge for at least 5 years. Or if make sure that you understand or and the condition are, these condition are or a person is having experience as an advocate in High Court for at least 10 years, right? These are the qualification of the judges. Powers of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court of India being the highest authority, the Supreme Court is higher authority in judicial hierarchy in the land. There are different functions that it perform. They main are judicial and administrative function. Judicial, let's first see about learn about the judicial functions. The judicial functions of Supreme Court are both of original as well as appellate in nature. Now you will understand the meaning of original and appellate nature in following paragraphs. First, let's see what the original jurisdiction mean. Original jurisdiction means the authority to hear cases for the first time. Next is all cases where interpretation of constitution is required. That means an explanation of the law is required, of laws written in constitution is required, then case can be directly filed in Supreme Court. Disputes between the center and the state or between two or more states fall within the original jurisdiction, and one can also move to Supreme Court in case of relating to infringement, impinging and denying of fundamental rights guaranteed by the constitution. So all these lines implies that original jurisdiction is when a case is filed in a court for the first time, right? Okay, let me give you a hypothetical scenario. Suppose two persons are having a dispute, right? Like two brothers are having dispute over the matter of property division. Then they cannot directly move to the, then they cannot directly file their case in Supreme Court. First they have to file their case in subordinate court. It means there are special kind of cases that can be filed directly in the Supreme Court, and that is called the original jurisdiction, when court hear the case for first time. And what kind of cases that Supreme Court will hear for first time? They are cases related to the interpretation of constitution. Suppose someone is not someone is getting their fundamental rights, their even the last lines of the paragraphs are also implying the same thing, that suppose fundamental rights are being violated by some other institution or some person, then the person whose fundamental rights are at risk can directly go to the Supreme Court. You cannot go directly in the case of disputes, but if your fundamental rights are in danger, then you can move to Supreme Court directly. Apart from that, disputes between the center and state, suppose center government and state government are having any dispute, then they can they will go for the first hearing. Their first hearing will be in the Supreme Court. Also dispute between the states or among the states, all these in all these cases Supreme Court will hear the case for first time. It will get you will get it the idea more clear when you will learn about appellate jurisdiction. Now appellate jurisdiction means Supreme Court can only hear a case after it has gone through the judicial hierarchy first. Okay, as I gave you a hypothetical scenario before, like two brothers are having dispute between them over matter of property division, then they have to file case in subordinate court. Suppose they are not satisfied with the judgment given in the subordinate court, then the matter will be then matter can be filed in the high court. If still some of one of the party is not satisfied with the judgment of high court, then that party can appeal in the Supreme Court, then hearing will be in Supreme Court. So in this sense, when appeals are made, in this sense Supreme Court is the appellate jurisdiction. So I hope it is clear to you that some cases, criminal cases and civil cases, cannot directly cannot directly file into the Supreme Court, but if there someone is have to make appeal against the judgments, then that person can go to Supreme Court. But in the case of fundamental rights or center and state disputes, cases are directly filed in the Supreme Court. So the cases include criminal cases and civil cases. Approach can be made to the Supreme Court only by special leave of that, or I mean in this whole para it is said that appeals can be made in the higher appeals can be made to the higher authority, and the supreme authority is the Supreme Court here. Next are the administrative functions, advisory functions. First is advisory function. The President of India can seek the opinion of Supreme Court on any question of law. Suppose President is dealing with some matter of law, then he can ask for advice from Supreme Court. And but one thing here is that Supreme Court is not bound. It is not necessary that Supreme Court will give advice. It is up to Supreme Court whether it will give or not. And if Supreme Court give the advice, it is up to the President whether he accept it or not. Right? So it is just an advisory function. Then court of record. Apart from these, the Supreme Court act as a court of records. All the decisions and decrees means decision is given when a case is solved, but decree is given as an order, right? Or order according to situations. Issues by so decisions and decrees issued by the Supreme Court itself are duly printed and kept in record for future reference in the court as well as for, so what does it mean? It means that all the cases that are resolved in the Supreme Court, all the judgments and all the orders are printed and kept in record, and these judgments can be used in the future cases. For example, suppose there is a case of robbery case is there in subordinate court. In the hearing, the lawyer can take an example of similar robbery case happened 20 years before, right? So in similar cases, the courts are bound to give similar judgments. So that means judgments in the Supreme Court are landmarks. They can be used as example, you can used as an example in future. Next function is the judicial review. Supreme Court upholds the supremacy and sanctity of the Constitution. The Supreme Court declares a law null and void if Parliament passes a law which is in violation of the Constitution. So judicial review means as you know, legislature makes a law. Suppose Parliament has passed a law which violates the a sense of Constitution, that is against the Constitution, then Supreme Court can declare it as invalid. Last is the guardian of fundamental rights. As we have already we learned that original jurisdiction point, that cases related to fundamental rights can be directly filed in the cases related to fundamental rights can be directly filed in the Supreme Court. So in this sense, Supreme Court is a guardian of fundamental rights. You know, we are having the 7 fundamental rights. So it issues writs for this purpose. That means Supreme Court issues writs for this purpose. That means to guard the fundamental rights of the citizens. That's all about the Supreme Court, and in the following videos we will learn about high courts and subordinate courts. Thank you.